So just yesterday we had the intro cinematic for Terminus Island revealed to us, which if you guys don't know, Terminus Island is one of the 2 launch maps of Black Ops 6. And there's a lot to unpack in the trailer itself. We're going to be talking about that in today's video. But the other piece of information I want to talk about today as well is the gameplay reveal trailer, I believe it is, for Black Ops 6, which will be coming out tomorrow as you guys are watching this. So as I'm recording this video, it's the 6th of August right now, and they're going to be revealing the gameplay trailer on the 8th of August. So if you want to see that, make sure you stay tuned to the channel. And like I say, when they reveal that gameplay trailer, I'm going to be talking about it. I'm going to be giving my opinions on it. Fucking hell, it's so cringe, man. Look at this guy. He's literally got Interstellar on his cat AMR. What are you doing? What purpose are you serving coming on shipment and just hard scoping the cat AMR, you freak? So let's talk a little bit about this intro cinematic. Now, obviously, this is a pre-rendered cutscene, which is why it looks basically lifelike. Like, the graphics are scarily good in this. Like, even the way that the blood splatters when the girl slices the guy's neck over the desk, like, it just looks incredibly good. But, I mean, then again, COD cutscenes have been, like, ahead of their time for years now. I mean, the Advanced Warfare ones I remember with Kevin Spacey looked almost lifelike. That was over 10 years ago. I suppose if I was to look at them now, they probably wouldn't be as good as I remember because, you know, I was a young lad back then. But I still remember them looking really good. But anyway, if you guys follow the story of Cold War Zombies, basically all the characters that we know, so I think it's Gregory Weaver, who's kind of like the leader of Requiem. Think of Requiem just as the zombies fighting team, basically, like the good guys. You've got Weaver from the Black Ops campaigns who's leading them. Then we've got, I think, Gray, Carver, and Strauss. There might be one more. I might be misremembering. But I'm pretty sure our OG crew consists of Gregory Weaver and those 3, Strauss, Gray, and Carver, I believe. That is right, yeah. And basically, those guys, along with Raptor 1, who is the extraction helicopter pilot, they're all trapped on Terminus Island, which, you know, basically think of it as Mob of the Dead. It's just a prison on an island. And our characters get broken out by a new girl who is working with Dr. Peck. If you guys remember Dr. Peck from Firebase Z, I think it is, Firebase Z, whatever. He was basically the antagonist for that map specifically. I think he was in the story for the rest of it as well. But basically, the reason why he's now working against the bad guys, I think it was Kravchenko who was working with them from the Black Ops 1 campaign. He's working against them because Richtofen, yes, Dr. Edward Richtofen, basically stole all of his research and is leading Project Janus, which I don't think we know about at the moment. And that's about it, really. I mean, Peck is just out for revenge, obviously, because Richtofen stole his research, kind of kicked him out. He got his eye taken out as well, so he's out for revenge. He's broken out these guys who are the good guys. Oh, and as well, the chick who broke out our cast as well is looking for her brother or a father, I think. She basically says to Peck, like, oh, you know, our deal is that I help you get these guys out and you help me find my brother or father, whichever one it was. And then I think as they're talking about this, I think one of them kind of tries to beat up Peck. The zombies break in. They're like, right, okay, you go find their brother. We'll go fight the zombies, something like that. And I imagine that's where we lead into the map. We'll spawn in and we'll go for round 1. So yeah, there's not really a lot to talk about in this trailer. It's just exciting. Do you know what I mean? Like, to see the graphics, to see the story and where our characters left off. And I have to say as well, our characters look really fucking cool. Like, in the Cold War, I can't even speak, man. I'm gonna punch myself. In Cold War Zombies, we only see these characters in a little card in the bottom right as they talk. And I think in the final cutscene as well, when they're being taken away by Project Janus people or Richtofen's people or whoever they're supposed to be, that's the only time we actually see these characters. And in this cutscene, they look incredibly good. And I don't know if it's just me as well, but it feels like the graphics in Cold War were not as good. At least in that cutscene specifically, where they're being arrested at the end. I just remember the graphics looking really shit. I don't know why. Like, I've just got this image in my mind of them looking really blurry and kind of just not good. But then you got the pre-rendered cutscenes from Black Ops Cold War's campaign, for example, and it looks incredible. Like, that is, I think, to this day, the best looking COD game we've ever had in terms of cutscenes. So yeah, there's not really much else to talk about in terms of the trailer. I mean, there might be a load of hidden details and story bits that I'm missing, but that's the general premise, is that our characters are being broken out by Peck, who's working with the good guys now. I think the overall plan of the game is going to be stopping Edward Richtofen doing whatever he's doing, because, you know, Edward Richtofen's obviously the bad guy. Or at least they're setting him up to be the bad guy. He might not be a bad guy in this. Oh. Oh, he was about to fall off again, the exact same guy. But yeah, it's possible that Edward Richtofen isn't the bad guy, but I mean, come on. He's basically been one of the main antagonists for zombies for the past, like, well, I don't know if I call him an antagonist, actually. It's kind of weird. I suppose Richtofen is kind of a moral grey area. I mean, Ultimus Richtofen, I think, was definitely more evil than Primus Richtofen. I know I'm probably speaking in nerd emoji language for a lot of you guys. But yeah, the younger Primus version of Richtofen is definitely a lot less evil. Like, he has a purpose and he's, you know, doing it for the greater good, something beyond himself. Whereas Ultimus Richtofen was just kind of crazy and obviously a Nazi as well. Not really the best characteristic, is it? But I'm really interested to see how Richtofen's going to fall into this, because obviously, like, it's not just a cash grab like some people who haven't really played the zombies games would think. Like, oh, just bringing back Edward Richtofen, like, yeah, classic move or whatever. It actually makes sense because with the end of Black Ops 4, obviously everything being pushed into the dark ether, and the only two things that remained from the original universe were Edward Richtofen and Samantha. And obviously Samantha's in Cold War, so seeing Richtofen at the end of Cold War was, you know, very fucking cool. It's just a shame that we won't see any of the original crew, like, say, Nikolai and Taki. I mean, we might, to be fair. Like, there's no point ruling it out because we have access to the dark ether in Black Ops Cold War, and I'm assuming Black Ops 6. So yeah, like I say, I'm just really excited to see how this story is going to unfold. I imagine for Terminus Island, it's going to be pretty basic. Like, the objective is going to be getting off the island, trying to find this chick's brother, and just kind of moving on, I guess. And then whatever DLC 1's going to be, that's going to be where the story starts to spice up. I just hope that the story in this game is a lot deeper than Black Ops Cold Wars. I felt Black Ops Cold Wars was very surface level, kind of basic, really. And a lot of the story beats are just in intel and cutscenes from other perspectives. They're not from your perspective. Like, what was so cool about doing the Easter eggs originally was that you were doing them and you were the characters involved in the story. Whereas nowadays, it's just kind of like you're the operators and you're watching the actual characters just, you know, talk and do all the dialogue and that stuff. So I kind of hope they improve on that in this game. Obviously, we've got the set crew now as well, so that's way more likely compared to Black Ops Cold War with the operator system. I just don't see any benefit to the operator system. I mean, the only benefit that I could see for anyone is money for Activision, but you can sell skins for the, like, for a regular crew. Like, I don't know why it has to be operators. But yeah, all in all, I'm really excited for Black Ops 6 Zombies, and I'm definitely going to be covering that on the channel. I know I always say this about zombies, but I actually would like to this year. Oh yeah, on a side note for Black Ops 6 as well, there's even more leaks. I mean, we talked about the leaks in my previous video for Black Ops 6. Yeah, we talked about the leaks yesterday, and the majority of the leaks, we talked about the weapons list, a majority of the maps, but now the entire map list has been leaked. Apparently, there's 20 total. We talked about field upgrades, perks, a new perk system called Perk Specialties as well. If you haven't watched that video, I highly recommend going to watch it because there was a lot of stuff leaked, and we just got even more leaks. Like, I'm literally, it's gone to the point now where I'm just scrolling Instagram Reels and I'm just seeing Black Ops 6 gameplay. Like, I'm not talking like low quality recorded on your phone, like genuine 1080p, like full matches on my fucking feed. It's crazy. Like, it's not even just one guy who's, you know, going through all the field upgrade stuff anymore. Like, it's literally full lobbies of people with jailbroken PS4s just playing Black Ops 6. Like, I don't even know what they can do to combat this. I don't know how this has happened. Like, it's mind-boggling. I don't get it. Yeah, off the top of my head, I don't think there's any new information from these leaks. Like, most of it is just kind of showing off gameplay, showing off the general feel for the game. And I did see someone talking about Black Ops 6 as well and their experience from playing it. And a lot of people are calling it Cold War 2 as if that's like a bad thing. Like, I don't really understand what you expect. I mean, one, Cold War was a solid COD game anyway. So if they're just going to do that but fix all the errors of Cold War, why would you not want that? I don't get what the criticism is there. But then second of all, I mean, people are saying, oh, Cold War 2, Cold War reskin. It's literally on a completely different engine. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? I genuinely just think it's brain rot. Like, genuinely just people just spew out the most nonsensical bollocks just to try and hate on the new thing. Like, it's so weird to me. I drop shot, but let's give one more time. I'm gonna rage quit so fucking fast. I don't think you understand. Yeah, but he tried it as well, fucking rat bastard. But anyway, yeah, I was reading a post about somebody basically talking about their experience from Black Ops 6, and they talked about how it didn't feel like a traditional Black Ops game, but it didn't feel like a Modern Warfare reskin. Like, it just kind of feels like its own thing, I guess, which is probably about the best news I could have heard. Yeah, he basically said how it does kind of have a Black Ops feel, but it also has a Modern Warfare feel with like some of the animations and some of the stuff as well, which I think was to be expected, to be honest. But as long as it doesn't, I mean, from what I can tell, it's not a Modern Warfare reskin or a Modern Warfare, you know, Black Ops game or anything like that. It looks like it's going to stand on its own 2 feet, which I'm happy about. Oh my god, it's so obnoxious. Is this fucking drop shot lobby or something? Jesus Christ. But yeah, I think this is the kind of thing that we just need to wait for the beta to actually feel properly. I mean, it's the kind of thing we can talk about for ages, but nah, I'm not playing in that lobby. It's the kind of thing that we're not going to get a full grasp on it until we actually play the game for ourselves. Like, I could watch hours of gameplay, but it's based on the feel, isn't it? It's the way the game feels, and I can't wait to feel the omnidirectional movement as well, especially in zombies. Like, running backwards while looking at the zombies, like, it sounds really basic, I know. Like, oh, you can just run backwards now. Like, I get that, but it's just cool. Do you know what it kind of reminds me of? It reminds me of when Apple and iPhones, iPads, whatever, they get a feature, like, coming, and everyone's like, oh my god, like, I can't wait for this, when Android have had it for, like, 5 years. Like, that's what this reminds me of.